Christmas is asking, Aquila, I wanted to ask why do most beings don't have creative powers like others? So, from my perspective, it's like, it's always for me comparable with video games. When you're playing certain game, let's say World of Warcraft or maybe Elden Ring or Horizons or Mass Effect or some game you like, CSGO, Dota, League of Legends, I don't know, like whatever kind of like makes you happy. Uh, with all those games, whatever game you play is gonna have certain rules. It's gonna have, like beings you're gonna play as the characters. And it's like, okay, well, once you tune in to that game, there are certain rules. Beings on the physical universe have also a set of rules. Like, let's say if you're playing in a reptilian body, it's like being certain type of character, or an NPC, for example, that will have this personality. And all NPCs, let's say it's a warrior in the game, so they can't use magic. No, they have a two-handed weapon, they have two-handed weapons, they have daggers and swords and katanas and like all these things. They might have a shield and sword, they will have variety, but warriors can't do magic. They might have to be paladins or something. Now magicians, they're not really gonna pick up a sword and start like going like shield and sword and use magic. No, they're magicians, they're gonna use a staff. So the character you pick, let's say we're playing humans, but physical body here on Earth is limited. There are other kinds of humans, the way more advanced and really evil. And, as a consciousness, we are not putting ourselves in a certain identity of what that character can do. Consciousness is limitless. Consciousness can be everything all at once. But once we choose to play physical reality will have certain places with the sets of rules and programming, and characters that can only have a certain type of behavior. So when you pick that role, playing Reptilian or Mantis or an entity is gonna have only certain sets of abilities, characteristics, beings, and like, okay, this is how your life is gonna be like. You're playing as Reptilian now. So you're gonna have way more intelligence as your default statistics of the character. You're gonna be super smart. You can mind control beings. You're gonna have more aggression. Zero empathy, really. You're more into this, you don't really give a shit. You can just go and get whatever you want. Go all the way. Now, humans, on Earth, they're not really gonna have all of their abilities unlocked. They're gonna have a really hardcore suppressed life because there's a lot of beings who have more control and domination over things, but a human being will have empathy, for example. Like the solid human being, not the modified, because we have a lot of variations. And okay, so you have this kind of body. It can get stronger over time if you work on it. And if you don't, well, it's gonna look a bit different, a bit chunkier, for example, or maybe super slim and just not really powerful enough. But all of a sudden, all these things will fit to your personality or the character you take. As consciousness, we're limitless. We're not identifying ourselves with something. We are everything and nothing all at once. But once we choose to play a certain type of game, and we come here to the physical universe, the 3D, then we have to agree to certain rules that are here in order to play the game. It's same thing as installing the application on your phone or installing some sort of game. There's always the terms of service, the agreements of terms of service and all this stuff. Okay, well, in order to sign up somewhere, you need to agree with that stuff. In order to play the game and install it, you need to agree with certain things. And most of us are just gonna scroll through all this stuff, not really give a damn. It's I just want to get my stuff. Come on, hurry up. And we don't read that stuff. Coming here on Earth, or having the human body, or any other kind of body, is pretty much the same. You can have consciousness, but once you pick up that character, you're installing the program and okay, I'm gonna be that. So you agree with that sort of stuff, and your consciousness got a bit more limited. As a human, you cut off your memories, for example. You get the mind wipe. So all of a sudden you can't remember your past lives, who you were, your origins, or anything else. If you're lucky, if you finally work your muscles and access that stuff, you can. But other than that, it's pretty much a lot of work to get better. But that's my take on it, why some beings don't have creative powers. It's just not in their sort of abilities or character set. It's a whole different being. For them, it's a whole different game. It's like playing chess, black or white. And are you going to be the queen, the king, the pawn, or the tower, or whatever? All these things. When you play a certain, a chess figure, you can't have all the moves like queen or king. You can only play the pawn, so you can go straight. You can't go like sideways and everything else. So, same thing here, pretty much.